Alright, call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Akakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great milestone of a well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into the labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. Also, Shabbat Shalom as well. And we are going to, I don't know how to start this. What I thought about was watching one of the Dallas Street preachings of yesterday, I think, or the day, maybe yesterday, maybe this morning, I can't remember. But what came to mind as a subject they were talking about was about miracles um, and every time the miracles were performed is because there was a need for a miracle. So basically, you have, you can't really have a miracle without some sort of being in some sort of strait, facing some sort of adversity. Okay, so that led to the correlation between miracles and faith, and I just typed this in. I wanted to see what it said, and it does have some good examples. So we'll read through this. So we'll skim this. We'll get a couple of miracles which I already have pulled up here. Exodus 13, Daniel 3. So you have the Daniel in the lion's den, and then the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. What those were their Babylonian names. And the Daniel's friends in the fire, and then the most famous that most folks know about here is the deliverance from Egypt, right? Which we are heading towards a different deliverance, or deliverance, an even greater one from a even more tyrannical and terrible Egypt than the one that was, than the physical one. This metaphorical Egypt is way worse, and that is why, the scriptures tell you, they ain't gonna be talking about the old Egypt, they'll be talking about this one. So we'll get our examples, and then that'll be the video. But really, the two things that I want to remember or keep in the back of your mind, right? The correlation between miracles and faith, and also the correlation between miracles and adversity, which I'll just probably pull it up here. So we'll read this, we'll go get our examples, and whatever additional precepts come up, we will get those as well. All right, so the correlation between miracles and faith, a reciprocal and dynamic relationship. In many theological and spiritual frameworks, faith acts as a catalyst that precedes miraculous events. So faith is a catalyst that precedes the miraculous event, right? And as we read through our examples, that is going to reign true. We'll see each of the men, there we go. I was thinking man and men at the same time, that we are reading about. The faith, their faith was intact. They understood full well who they were and who they belonged to, and that that Yahweh, well, at the time, just Yahweh was well, really Yahweh Shai. And in Exodus, Yahweh Shai makes plenty of cameo appearances, but um, there was always, that belief was already there. Okay, so again, like I said, we'll read that. So keep that in your mind, right? The correlation between miracles, and it'll probably be miracles, faith, and adversity. Uh, I'm gonna add that after we read this because I don't know if it'll change. Okay, so while miracles serve to validate, strengthen, and inspire belief in return. Okay, all right. So you go through things, the Lord delivers you. You held on to your faith. All right, and there's your physical representation of things that are written aforetime, written for our learning. But these are lived examples. Not only do you have something to fall back on that you read and you have faith and belief in, but you have lived examples as well. Condition. Oh, faith as a precursor to miracles. In many religious traditions, most notably, obviously, we're going to be talking about. Uh, They say Christianity, but we understand it is not. This is a heritage given to us and being restored in us, right? Faith acts as a spiritual key that unlocks divine power. Rather than viewing miracles as a reward for having faith, faith is treated as the surrendered, receptive state needed for Yahweh to act, right? So it is not again, the miracle is not the reward. It is what happens when you do what you're supposed to do. You're rewarded for your belief. You're rewarded for things that you do beforehand, All right, what led up while you were in that, in the thick of it, in some sort of dire strait. So the condition, Yahushua frequently emphasizes the link by attributing healing and supernatural intervention directly to the belief of the recipient. Your faith has saved you, or according to your faith, it will be done to you. Okay, so the hindrance. Conversely, the absence of faith or the presence of doubt is often cited as a barrier to miracles, right? You don't believe, that reward, right? Uh, the way you act beforehand, or the way you behave in the fire dictates what you get, all right? Um, Often cited as a barrier to miracle. For instance, the Gospel of Mark notes that Yahushua could not perform many miracles in his hometown of Nazareth because of the people's unbelief. Also, furthermore, strengthening that, this was not some sort of divine, Yahushua wasn't just, or his mother wasn't impregnated by an angel. They didn't believe because they knew his physical father, Joseph. They knew his mother. They knew his brothers and his sisters in the flesh. All right, and that's why Yahushua talks about, a prophet is without honor. Without honor. Yeah, where is that at? Matthew 13 and 15. We'll get it right here. Right? Is that what he says? The prophet is not without honor except in his hometown. Yeah, yeah. We'll get it here in KJV. And they were offended in him, but Yahushua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor save in his own country and in his own house. Absolutely. Um, but people are on the flip side. There's another scripture that tells you, then shall they know a prophet has been among them. And people are going to see pretty soon as everything unravels, as we can see plain as day. Oh, okay. So we got that. We read the hindrance. Okay, miracles as a catalyst for faith. While faith helps bring miracles about, the reverse is also true. Miracles often serve as signs meant to confirm the divine message and ignite faith in those who witness or experience them. All right, strengthening existing faith. Miracles can deepen the trust of those who already believe, right? You just need that. That's why they talk about the faith of a mustard seed. Matthew 17 and 20. And we'll just read them verbatim here so we can get to our examples we have. Uh-oh. KJV, all right. And Yahushua said unto them, because your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have a grain of mustard seed, if ye if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, there you go. As you see, as you're following along, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. God, I don't know why that was a tough read. Okay. Inspiring new faith. They often act as a gateway, drawing people's attention to the divine and opening their hearts to accept spiritual message, as you see when you read through the book of Acts and of the apostles and through Yahushua, right? Many people believed on him and some didn't. Okay. Oh, what did I say? Uh, so we'll let's do that. Let's see how it changes. Adversity acts as a catalyst for faith, right? So miracles, adversity, and faith, a cyclical or reciprocal. Uh, what am I trying to say? It's like a fire triangle. You need all three. All right. If you don't know the fire triangle, okay. In order to have everything, for the fire, you need heat, you need fuel, you need oxygen. So just replace what makes sense with faith, miracles, or faith and miracle, and what did I say? And adversity, right? All of those that you need those for the end result of your fire. Okay, so that's what I was trying to say. God, I can't get it together. Um, yeah, all those work together to produce what you need. Okay, so we'll read Exodus here. Here's our first one, 13 and 18, and this is the deliverance here. So, all right, Yahweh leads the people. Okay, and you can also read in Exodus 40, which, oh yeah, because of the cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night, and we also need to get, because I mentioned Yahweh Shai's cameo appearance. Um, I believe it's up here because my name is in him. Uh-huh. Shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites. I think I need to go up a little bit farther. Let's see. Consecration of the firstborn. Moses said unto the people, remember this day, you come out of Egypt for bondage. Out of the house of bondage, right? Sign upon thee. Yes. All right. The Lord smote the firstborn of the Egyptians. Um, which there was the start, the plagues, and then the smiting of the firstborn. There is the start of the adversity, because Pharaoh is ready to put the Israelites to death, right? So completed a mass genocide, but the Lord led the people, and we'll read that too, because there was some instance where he wanted to preserve their spirit, not get them fighting as soon as they exit, as soon as he brings them out. But we'll read that too. I just need to find. Our Pharaoh wouldn't let him go. Okay, so we'll read that, and I'll just try to. Let me see. For my name is in him. It's in 23, so it's not even in this one. So we'll read. Let's get. I need to get that 23 and 21, and then we'll come back and read this. Okay. So, conquest of the land. All right, behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in thy way and bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries. For mine angel shall go before thee and bring thee into the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their image. All right, so that was as they're being led into the land that they're going to get, okay, that the Lord has promised them. So now we'll go back to 13. Two different occasions. Sorry, I thought they were. I don't know why my brain thought that those went together. But so that was that one. But now we'll get back to the original point here about the being led out of Egypt. So we'll read from 17 to 22. All right. It came to pass when Pharaoh had let the people go, Yahweh led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For Yahweh said, lest peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt. They run back, go right back, right? And that's another thing, as you see, even to this day, or not even to this day, but likened until right now, when the whole push for this thing, the injectable for the detectable, first people will be ready to resist it, up until a point to where the spirit is not on them to resist unto death, if that be the route the Lord has you to take. And the minute it comes to having to fight or having to stand on your belief, they turn right back to Egypt. F it, just give me the CHIP, I'll take it, whatever. All right, and you're going to see that with close family members and all, even though you tried to tell whoever you tried to tell. But that's just a lot. Okay, verse 18. But Yahweh led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him. Okay, so we had that. Let's see. And they took the journey for Succoth and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud, and to lead them the way, and by night a pillar of fire to give them light, and to go by day and night. All right, so you didn't have to stop. All right, stopping and setting up camp for too long would, allow the enemy to regain whatever or ground that they've lost, or give in an existing enemy in that land an opportunity to, you know, deal with you treacherously, so to speak. All right, so he took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of the fire by night. I'm going to go forward a little bit because the point was the splitting of the Red Sea or the Strait. Okay, speaking to the children of Israel, before it shall ye encompassed by the sea. For Pharaoh will say to the children, they are entangled in the land, and the wilderness has shut them out, shut them in. Right, so it looks like there's nowhere to go. There's that adversity that we talked about. All right, so the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so he added a little more oxygen. Okay, with your fire triangle, he added a little more oxygen to get that flame going. Okay, and upon his host and the Egyptians, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. Okay, so they fled, and they're like, "Why you let them go? Why you let them niggas go with all our shit?" All right, and he made ready his chariot. All right, took his people with him, 600 chosen chariots. Okay, Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, as you can see. Children of Israel went out within high land, within high hand. Okay, what does that mean? I don't think I've ever. People of Israel had left with fist raised in defiance. Oh, okay, so he's like, and he got the nerve. Yeah, yeah, there you go. He said they got these slaves got the nerve to try to leave here proud. Yeah, yeah, let's go get there. Let's go get them. We'll slaughter them. They have nowhere to go. They stuck in the forest, and they're literally in between a rock and a hard place. All right. Okay. Pharaoh drew nigh. Children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. Boom. There you go. All right. And they said unto Moses, because there is no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Okay, so that's where he goes. Moses said unto the people, fear ye not. Stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will show to you today. All right, and that's when he split the Red Sea. Okay, so that's that one. Um, the second one here in Daniel 3. All right, Daniel's friend. This is they refuse to worship the image of the beast, right? When the sound plays and the sackbut and all that, right? So that's 10. Okay, so we'll read that. And thou, O king, has made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and then all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. Right? Obviously, the Hebrews, our forefathers, refused because of what we just read, about not bowing to these other gods and these nations. Okay, so Nebuchadnezzar was pissed. He threw them in the furnace and wanted to get the fire as hot as possible. Right? If it be so. Okay, so yeah, he says that he's gonna throw them. He lets them know, yeah, you going in there, going in the furnace. All right, so here they go. If it be so, our power, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. He will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. Will. That is a very definitive word indicating strong levels of faith. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. All right, and that's coming. What we're going to need to do is not worship that golden, or should I say, silicone image. silicone textile, right, image. But I'm trying to find different ways to say CHIP. I don't think that one worked out that well, but cool. We'll move on. You knew what I was trying to say. All right, and he commanded the most high. I'm sorry, Slaki. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in the army to bind um, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and cast them into the burning fiery furnace. All right, these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Okay, and the fire slew the men. So the fire killed the men that were throwing them in there, but not the three. Okay, and these three men fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. All right, then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselor, Did not we cast three men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. And he answered and said, Lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire. They have no hurt, and their form of the fourth is like the Son of God. And I wonder, how did they know? Right? How did they know? He must have been shining, boy. Like God, dog. And you gotta be kind of crazy to believe this stuff. You did it is a requirement because saying this to somebody with no spirit, right, with no inkling or understanding of this, they think of this as some sort of parable or some sort of euphemism. No, and that is the Christianity in them, right? Christianity will turn. And that's how you know it is it is definitely a false and it is of some sort of wicked or Edomite kind of invention because it's turned on his head. Everything that should be taken literally is not, and vice versa. Everything that should be a parable is taken literally. They flip it on their head, on its head. Clean contrary. Again, knowing the tree by its fruits, like I did, I think 2 lessons ago. Okay, so you got that one, and now you have Daniel in the lion's den. All right, Daniel serves Darius. Okay, so that's the top. Boom. Wherefore the king Darius signed a written decree. All right, these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his power and right before Yahweh. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, The thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altered not. All right. So that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regarded not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. All right. All right. Let's see. Daniel in the lion's den. Okay. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel, cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And sure as shit, he did. Right? You thought you was being slick. You thought, you were mocking Yahweh. You came on, man, please. All right, so king rose very early in the morning, went in haste unto the den of lions. All right. All right, and then he said, okay, so Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Obviously, nigga. Um, then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. Okay. My God, okay, here's the point that we go. My God, I think my God has sent his angel, and has shut the lion's mouth, that they have not hurt me, for as much as before him innocency For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, I have done no hurt. All right. So boom. What else? Who? And I wanted to get to the point where they threw somebody else in the den. And the king commanded that they brought those. Yeah, okay. So, and the king commanded that they brought. This is Daniel 6:24. Those men into the hand. Those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions. Um, them, their children, and their wives. Boy, ancient world was something else, boy. And the lions had the mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces, or in pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. The king dares wrote unto all the people in the nations and languages that dwelled upon the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. Okay, I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men trembled and feared before the God of Daniel, for he is the living power and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, right? World without end, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. I wonder if the cross referenced is that one, world without end. Hmm, probably because we need to go a little farther down. Uh, that's why. A kingdom that shall not be destroyed. That's why. Okay, here we go. Mm, okay, maybe not. World without end. Maybe that ain't in there. Right, he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and his kingdom, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Okay. At any rate, you have what you have. These are just three. We haven't even, you can go on your own and look into the early acts of the apostles, okay, the gospel, all right, the ministry of Yahushua. Um, all we did was cover some things in the Old Testament, and these were just miracles prior to, okay, because you still have um, all the miracles that happened through the prophets, okay, so between Joshua and Kings, all right, the fall of Jericho, okay, where the sun, and then you got the sun standing still. Um, to give Joshua the victory in that Joshua 10, right? Samson, Elijah's miracles, Elijah and Elisha, they both had miracles. Um, we read through the fiery furnace. Well, some more. The healing of the blind man. There you go. Okay, Yahushua healing that blind man, and they talked about. They were asking what, like, who in his family did sin. Boom. Okay, and then I think we can end it there. Who in this man's or he is born blind, something like that, right? Is that John? So John 9:2-3. Okay, Yahushua passed by and he saw a man which was blind from his birth. His disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And here's a big indicator of, having an understanding of what or to have a peek into the general understanding when we knew who we were, when, we were not that far removed from our heritage, understanding reincarnation, okay, in the place of judgment being under the sun, right? Whatever you do in your life in a past life, if you don't repent, can come back on to the next, right? So Yahushua answered, neither hath this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of Yahweh should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. Okay, so boom, the man didn't do anything. He was born blind. He was born in some sort of strait for a miracle to happen. All right, so that I think the point has been made. You can get the rest on your own. Okay, Acts 2, hell, Acts 3, the lame beggar, um, uh, who fell dead? Who? Dang it! I know I said this was the end. Fate, okay, of Ananias and Sapphira. So they fell dead, lying to the Holy Spirit. They it's so many different things, and there's different types, right? You have the miracles like the turning of the water into wine, but then you have the ones where you have a deliverance where there's a way made out of no way, and those are the ones that we're honing in on for obvious reasons. So with that being said, I pray that you were edified. I pray that you stuck with me. I know we jumped around quite a bit, but I pray that the message that was intended to be put out is put out. That you are edified, and you are inspired, and that you continue to grow. You continue to learn. You continue to be repentant and contrite. Shalom.